to make 2 sympathy cards, but using easy fold cards, just for something a little different. But here we go. Okay, so welcome back, excuse me, to Dot Scrapbooking. And I am taking a piece of 4 1/4 by 11 inch black cardstock. And I am going to score it at 2 3/4. And then I'm going to flip it around, put my scoring tool down at the bottom so that I can use my 8 1/4 measurement down there at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and score it. Almost scored it wrong. Okay, so 8 1/4. First one is at 2 3/4, and then the next one is move it over and do it at 8 1/4. I took 2 pieces of a card front thin cut, and it's called lattice, and I cut it down so that the pieces would be 4 by 2 1/2. So that's what those little pieces are cut down to. Like I said, that was the lattice thin cut. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm using liquid glue on this. When it dries, it'll be invisible, so that's fine. I'm just kind of dotting it around, so I don't want it to come through the little bitty holes. And then I'm going to, the only thing about using liquid glue is it doesn't catch like the Tombow does right off the bat. So I kind of need to let it dry, but I need to put something heavy on it to keep it in place. Now this is a piece of 6 by 6. It's the Little Things paper, and just I love this black and white paper that they have, the floral. So I'm just going to let that sit, and then that's going to go over the top. And like I said, this is a super easy thin cut. Now this is a discontinued stamp. I don't very often buy Sympathy stamps. I usually, when I see one that Close to My Heart is carrying, and I really like it, then I go ahead and get it, and I, tend to use it for a while. So this, unfortunately, is discontinued. It's got some really nice inside sayings, sentiments. So I'm putting a little bit of real thin double stick foam on the back, and then I'm going to glue it in place. I'm going to center it from left to right and top to bottom. I love that paper. It's just so pretty. Now, you could totally color it with markers if you wanted to, and it would be gorgeous. So this piece is 4 inches by, and I'm going to cut it down a little bit. It was 5 1/2. I'm just going to cut 1/4 inch off, so it's not so edge to edge, and you get a little bit of a black show around the edges. So this is 5 1/4 by 4 inches. So you're getting about 1/8 inch all around. And I'm going to use one of these, which I've used before. You can tell because the stamp is showing that it's, got from black, it's dyed with black ink. That does, when your stamps get dyed, that's a great thing. It means that you're using them and not just letting them sit and mellow with age. I mean, you want to use your stamps. So there's one that I hadn't used yet because that other one is my favorite. But I'm going to use this one because I like it too. I think it's got a really nice sentiment to it. But my block is just a little bit small. I need one that's just a tad bigger. But this is plenty big. No in between here. So I'm going to go ahead and take my intense black and ink it up real good and do a little test stamp, making sure that if you don't move your stamp, you get a clearer stamp. There we go. It needs the little foam thing behind it. I should be using my Close to My Heart layout, matte, because on the flip side of it, it's got a real spongy side that is really good for stamping. So there we go. Okay, and the one thing I want to do is wipe off any excess ink, and don't put your card into your ink pad. Not good form. Okay, so as may you find comfort in loving memories, strengthen the support of those who care, and hope in each day. So the other thing I want to put on the front is just a simple with sympathy. And so they have a nice, real thin condolences and sympathy with sympathy. And so I didn't want anything real big. I just wanted something small and just nothing blaring. So I'm just going to put some little dove cuts on the end of the little bit of paper, and then I'm going to mount it on black. And the black is about 3/8 of an inch. So nice and small. And then just trim it. So you could put this one down with double stick foam too. And I was thinking of putting it on top of the flowers, but then I kind of like it on the lattice work. And I'm sorry, I'm working off the edge. Postcards from the edge here. Maybe it should just be sympathy cards on the edge. There we go, with sympathy. And then I've got my and hope in each new day. So there's my first sympathy card. And it can stand up like that, just so you know. Okay, so I thought, okay, I'm here. Let's do another super easy fold card. And this one is kind of interesting. I ended up, instead of using a piece of cardstock for the base, which I was thinking of initially, I thought, well, you know, I buy the value pack of the Close to My Heart A2 cards, the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, meaning that I get 50 cards in a group, in a package, and 50 envelopes. So I need to use them. So I'm doing a cut at 1 1/4 inches right up to the fold, and then from the fold down. So you just want to put your little arrow there at the edge and then cut down. So I'm using another piece of paper from the It's the Little Things. And I like this little bit of kind of ivy. And I'm putting these 1 inch by 4 inch strips down each side of the 1 1/4 inch strip that I cut. Needed more Tombow. You know, sometimes you can nail it and sometimes you have to work a little harder. Okay, so now this is the thing that's a little bit different. I'm going to glue these two sides down right to the card. And so then I've got kind of a different look of a card. And I'm going to, look how pretty that is. I'm going to put that. Can you tell I love that paper? I just think that is just so pretty. And I just think for something like a sympathy card, I just think it's really perfect. So I am going to cut this down, and it will be 3 1/4 by 5. And if I'm slightly off in my cutting, then I just trim it a little bit to get there. Okay, and so I'm going to also add a piece of black cardstock in the center, and I'm going to cut it down to, it's like 3 1/4 or 3 3/4. It should be 3 3/4 because it's 5 1/2 inches, and then you cut 2.5 off. So that leaves you with, actually it's just 3 inches, right? So I'm going to cut this down to about 5.25 by 3 so that it fits within that open segment there. It's really close. You could cut it a little bit smaller, just a tad smaller, just to fit within your kind of snug frame there. You could put it down first and then put the little flaps over it, and that would take care of everything. So there we go. I've got that big flower that I wanted to use, but it's really a little big for this card, especially when it's cut down. So I'm going to go ahead and use that Deepest Condolences. I'm just trying to figure out what to put on the inside. I'm kind of planning this on the fly, if you can tell. That's okay. So I'm going to cut a piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to cut it so a little edge of the black shows all around. So it'll be about 3 or 2 3/4 by 5. So just a little bit of that black is going to show through, and I will add dimensions here. I need to find something that's going to fit. So it's like I can't just use one that, and that one fits. My favorite one fits. So I lucked out, to tell you the truth. So this is I'm going to go ahead and stamp it, but before I glue it into place, which I could totally do, I'm going to stamp it first. Get my little spongy out. Give it a little trial run. I like this font too. It kind of looks like it's handwritten. So now I'm putting that in place. And there's just enough room to sign your name. You can always add a little note to the back if you want. So I'm taking a really narrow, this is like 1/4 inch. And it just shows you how small this font is, the text on the Deepest Condolences. This is kind of the same idea. So I'm stamping it in white, and then I'm going to put black behind it. So I'm just putting it on a larger piece, and then I'll cut it on the cutter and just kind of eyeball it. So I'm kind of getting an even edge along the bottom, put my ink away to stay out of trouble, and then place my little strip in there and adjust it so that I've got an even amount of black showing on the other side of the rail. And that's what I like about my rail cutter, is you get a really precise cut. You can see exactly where it's going to cut. So I really, really like that. So I am going to put that, and it just so happens it fit right across the bottom. Excuse me. So here we go. It's almost done now. Now these aren't the happiest cards to make, but it's really important that you have something like this, because we never know. Those we love can never be more than a memory away. So there's my 2 cards. And unfortunately, necessary part of life. But there we go. So I hope you like them, and These fun folds really add some interest to your card making. Thanks for watching. Bye now.
Hi, I'm Dorothy Smith. Thanks for watching my video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel and learn along with me. Thanks. Bye-bye.